Hi, Algebra 1. This is page 13, the homework. We're going to run through all the problems. Later today, we're actually going to do a whiteboard activity to review for the quiz that we have tomorrow. So problem number 1 is 2 to the negative 4, x to the 6th, y to the negative 3rd. Okay, a couple things we want to take care of. The two things that have negative exponents want to move down. So then I get 2 to the 4th down here and y to the 3rd down here. Notice they no longer have negative exponents. And 2 to the 4th is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So that's 2 times 2, that's 4. Times 2 is 8. Times 2 is 16. So my answer is x to the 6th over 16y to the 3rd. Problem number 2, we have 3x to the negative 4 to the negative 2. Yes, we do have negative exponents, so let's bring them in. So that's going to give me 3 to the negative 2. Multiply those. Negative times negative is positive. So this wants to move down. So I have x to the 8th over 3 squared. And 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. Number 3, we have negative 2m to the 4th, 3m to the negative 3. Let's go ahead and take care of this. Is a negative number, so negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. That is not a negative exponent. Add the exponents, so 4 plus negative 3 is just m to the 1st. So you can leave your answer like that, or you could have it as 6m. You pick which way you want to have it. Number 4, we have 8c over 4d to the negative 7. Let's reduce the 4 and the 8. 4 goes in itself once, 4 goes into 8 twice. C stays on top. This wants to move up as well, and we no longer have it as a fraction. Number 5, we have 12x raised to the 3rd, y to the negative 7 over 20x to the negative 5, y to the 2nd. Let's go ahead and reduce the 20 and the 12. So 4 goes into 12 3 times, 4 goes into 20 5 times. So far we have 3 over 5. Now let's move the negative exponents. This wants to move up, so it's going to join the other one. This wants to move down, so it's going to be like that. Now we're just combining our like terms. So we have 3 over 5. Add the exponents, so I have 3 plus 5 is 8. Add the exponents, so 2 plus 7 is 9. Problem number 6. We have 5x to the 4th, y to the negative 3 times 7x to the negative 2, y to the 8. We can multiply the 5 and 7 to get 35. Let's see. Let's move everything that needs to be moved. So x to the 4th and y to the 8th are going to stay on top of the fraction. This will move down and this will move down. So I have y to the 3rd on bottom and x to the 2nd. Now we're going to go with our tug of war. So I have 35 on top. Tug of war with the x's, who wins, top or bottom? The top does, by 2. Tug of war with the y's, who wins, top or bottom? Top wins by 5. We no longer have it as a fraction because everything canceled out. Number 7, we have negative 17xy to the 3rd raised to the 0. Everything's grouped and it's raised to the 0 power, so the answer just comes out to be 1. Number 8, we have 2x, 3y to the 2nd, all raised to the 3rd. So let's go ahead and distribute this in. So I get 2 to the 3rd here, x to the 3rd up here, 3 to the 3rd on bottom, and y to the 6th because I'm multiplying the exponents. So let's clean this up. 2 times 2 times 2 is 2 to the 3rd, which is 8, x to the 3rd. 3 times 3 times 3, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27, y to the 6th. The 8 and the 27 do not reduce, so we don't cancel any of our numbers. Number 9, 6c to the 3rd, d to the negative 2. So we just want to move the negative exponent down, nothing to cancel, just move it down. It becomes a positive exponent now. Number 10, we have 6x to the 4th, x to the negative 10. So if we want, we can move this down. So it's a positive exponent. Tug of war with the x's, who wins? The bottom does by 6. And then the 6, this original 6 stayed on top. Number 11, I get 2 raised to the 0, x to the negative 3 to the 4th. Well, 2 to the 0, that's just going to give me 1 for an answer. Distribute that in, so I get x to the negative 12th. Okay, remember there's a 1 out front. So this wants to move down, so I'm going to get 1 over x to the 12th. Number 12, I get a to the 12th, b to the negative 3rd, a to the 5th, b to the 5th. So let's take care of the negative exponent. We'll move that down before I start reducing anything. So I have a to the 5th on bottom, b to the 5th, and b to the 3rd. Now we can do a tug of war with the a's. Top wins by 7. And combine together on bottom, add those. That gives me b to the 8th. Number 13, you know what the answer is without me even writing it out? The whole thing is in parentheses, so it's grouped together, and the whole thing is then raised to the 0 power, right? You see that 0 power outside right there, and the whole thing's grouped together in parentheses? The answer just comes out to be 1. Number 14, we get g to the 3rd times g to the negative 2. It's raised to the 4th. Okay, so let's combine these together. So 3 plus negative 2 is g to the 1st, but the whole thing was raised to the 4th power outside. Multiply these together. 4 times 1 is 4. There's my answer. Number 15, I get 4c to the negative 5 over 8d raised to the 0. This whole thing's raised to the 3rd power. So let's take care of the negative exponents first. That wants to move down, and we can reduce this. 4 goes in itself once, goes in there twice. So I get a 1 on top, and let's see, a 2 on bottom. C to the 5th wants to move down, so now it's positive. What is d to the 0? Yeah, it's just 1, so we don't have to even write it. And we still had this all raised to the 3rd power. Let's distribute this in. So 1 to the 3rd is 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. 2 to the 3rd is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. And c to the 5th is c to the 15th, because 5 times 3 is 15. There's our answer. Okay, on page 14, backside. Number 16 says we have 8x to the negative 8, y to the 11th, all raised to the negative 2. Let's take care of negative times negative is positive. Negative times positive is negative. Then we want to move this part up. So I'm going to get x to the 16, y to the 22nd. Number 17, we get 2x to the 3rd, x to the 4th to the 2nd, over 8x to the 11th. So let's take care of this. That's going to give me x to the 8th, and so I get 2x to the 3rd, because there was a 1 out there that doesn't change anything, and then x to the 8th over 8x to the 11th. So let's reduce. 2 goes into itself once, goes into 8 4 times, so I have 1 over 4. This is 11. Tug of war with the x's. I have 11 x's on top, I have 11 on bottom, so they cancel out, so my answer is just 1 over 4. Number 18, I get 2 to the 3rd x, the whole thing's squared. So let's distribute this in. So 3 times 2 is 6, so 2 to the 6th, x to the 2nd. You might want to leave 2 to the 6th as is, or you can go 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, times 2 is 64. If you made this like that, I'm pretty impressed that you got that answer right. Oh, it's getting goofy now, so I gotta reset this. And we're moving on to number 19. As soon as my board comes back up. Number 19. So I get 2, and then I have 3a to the 2nd, all raised to the 3rd. So let's bring this in. So I get 3 to the 3rd, a to the 6th. Okay, so 3 to the 3rd is 3 times 3, which is 9, times another 3, which is 27, times that 2. 27 times 2 is 54, and I get a to the 6th. Number 20, I get 2x quantity squared. Let's distribute this in. So 2 squared is 4, and then x squared. 21, I get 10 to the second to the third, which is 10 to the fifth. Holy cow, 10 to the fifth. We probably can do this. Let's multiply this together. That's 100. That's 1,000. 10,000. That's 100,000. I mean, obviously, if you left it as 10 to the fifth, you're okay as well, but your calculator could handle it. Number 22, we get negative 3 squared x to the sixth raised to the fifth. Okay, that's going to give me negative 3 to the fifth power, and that's going to give me x to the 30th. Oh my. Let's see, for 22, did we go that far? I would say leave it like that. That answer is probably fine. I don't think you'll see anything that difficult on the test. I mean, negative 3 multiplied by times itself 5 times gets to be pretty big. I think it's like negative 243, I think, just in my head. 7j squared to the third. All right, let's distribute that there and there. So that's 7 to the third, j to the sixth. 7 times 7 times 7 is 343, j to the sixth. You can do that on your calculator real easy. I mean, that's 49. 49 times 7 is 343. Number 24, 8x squared over 2x squared to the second. Let's reduce before we distribute. So 2 goes in itself once, goes into 8 4 times. Tug of war with the x's, it's a tie, so they cancel. So I just wind up with 4 to the second. 4 to the second is 4 times 4, which is 16. 25, I get 3x squared over 2y squared, and the whole thing is raised to the fifth. So distribute that in, 3 to the fifth. I'm just going to leave as 3 to the fifth. That's x to the 10th. 2 to the fifth, we could probably do. And then y to the 10th. I think that answer is fine. I mean, honestly, if you multiply it out 3 times itself 5 times, it comes out to 243 on top, x to the 10th. And then 2 to the fifth is 32. So if you got to that point, great. If you leave it like this, you're probably okay. Number 26, we got x to the fifth, y to the fourth, y over x, that's all raised to the sixth. So let's distribute that here and here. So I'm going to get x to the fifth on top, y to the sixth on top, y to the fourth on top. Notice those two stayed the same. X to the sixth on bottom. Now we can go ahead and do a tug of war. Tug of war with the x's, who wins? Yeah, the bottom by 1. Tug of war with the y's, who wins? The top by 2. There's your answer. Number 27, we get d to the third to the fifth, and d to the negative 4 to the third. So let's multiply the exponents. That's going to give me d to the 15th. That's going to give me now d to the negative 12. You can move it down if you want, or you can just add it. It's your choice. But let's do the tug of war, because tug of war is kind of fun. Tug of war, who wins, top or bottom? Yeah, the top by 3. If we just subtracted these, 15 minus 12 is also 3. So 2 ways to get to that answer. Number 28, we have 2xy to the second over 8 x to the negative 3, y to the 7th. So let's distribute this in here, here, and here. So I get 2 squared, which is 4, x squared, y squared, over 8. This is going to move up, so now we have another x to the third up on top. Y to the 7th is going to stay down there. Let's clean this up. 4 goes into itself once, 4 goes into 8 twice. Let's combine the x's, so that's going to give me x to the 5th. Tug of war with the y's. Bottom wins by 5. Then number 29, we have 24 x to the 7th over 15 x to the negative 3 to the third. Let's reduce the fraction first. Let's see. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 3 goes into 24 8 times. And then we're going to move that up. So I'm going to get 8 over 5, x to the 7th, x to the third. Remember, it's all still raised to the third power, so let's not do anything yet. Combine these like terms, so that's going to give me 8 over 5, x to the 10th, and then it's still raised to the third power. So if I distribute this in here, here, and here, I get 8 to the third, which is 8 times 8 times 8. 8 to the third, I believe, is 512. X to the 30th, and then 5 to the third is 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125, and those will not reduce. And then problem number 30. Do you know what the answer is just by looking at it? We have a whole big grouping of stuff, right? So we could go and multiply and reduce and all those things, but the whole thing's raised to the 0 power, so what's the answer? Yeah, it's 1. Okay, we're going to be doing page 15, so have that out. We're not going to work on it with sheet and paper. Just wait till we're done, and we're going to do it on whiteboards. So just have page 15 ready. You don't have to start working on it because we're going to use whiteboards to do it, and then we'll fill in the answers when we're done. I hope you have a nice day.